Thinking back to school days, it's always those unexpected moments that stand out the most. Like, my math teacher once sneezed so loudly that he actually shut off the projector mid equation. The class just stared in shock for a second before everyone exploded into laughter.
Oh, that's fantastic. My English teacher did something similar. She meant to say Shakespeare, but out popped Shakespeare. She tried to power through like nothing happened, but suddenly, everyone in the room was picturing a bear writing poetry. We could barely keep it together.
I love how a tiny slip up can totally change the mood. It's like, for a second, everyone is on the same ridiculous page. These moments make even the strictest teachers feel human.
Definitely. And when the whole class shares that burst of laughter, it feels like an inside joke that only your grade will ever understand. It makes the classroom feel a lot less intimidating.
Funny you mentioned teachers being human. I once had a science teacher who showed up with two different shoes. One was a sneaker, the other a dress shoe. He was pacing around explaining atoms, totally clueless. Halfway through, he finally realized and just shrugged, saying, "Guess I'm experimenting too."
That's one for the yearbook. My old art teacher managed to sit right on a paint palette she didn't notice for ages, and walked around with this rainbow-streaked skirt for the rest of the day. The best part was, she just owned it and said it was her new look.
It's so refreshing when teachers can laugh at themselves. It sort of gives everyone permission to not take little mistakes too seriously.
Absolutely. And it shows students that adults mess up too sometimes in really colorful ways. It makes for a much less stressful atmosphere when you know perfection isn't required.
That reminds me of another classic name mix-ups. My teacher once called three different kids banana in the same lesson. By the end, half the class was just answering to banana.
Oh wow, that's next level. I remember a substitute who kept mistaking students for each other, and eventually just started calling everyone by food names: apple, cookie, you name it. It turned into a running joke, and the whole class would burst out laughing every time she hesitated.
When stuff like that happens, it's amazing how quickly students will run with it. Whole new nicknames are born, sometimes for years.
It's true. Those silly slip-ups can totally transform group dynamics. Suddenly, you're all in on the joke, even people who barely talked to each other before.
Switching gears a bit, I remember our history teacher used to reenact battles with chalkboard erasers. He'd toss them like pretend grenades, and the whole class would dive under desks, half for cover, half for the fun of it.
That's incredible. I had a science teacher who'd act out chemical reactions, complete with sound effects and all. Even if you didn't totally get the lesson, those antics stuck in your memory. It made the subject so much more engaging.
Honestly, I think half of what I remember from school comes from those offbeat demonstrations. Sometimes it's the silly stuff that keeps you hooked, like, the lesson is suddenly alive instead of just notes on a page.
Exactly. And you start seeing the teacher as a real person with quirks and creativity. That's a lesson in itself.
That actually makes me wonder, do you think those funny, random moments are as important as the stuff we were officially supposed to learn?
Honestly, sometimes I think they matter even more. The real memories are the laughter, the shared experiences, and the feeling that you could just enjoy being there. Years later, I remember the rainbow skirt and chalkboard battles way clearer than any test score.
I'm with you on that. Those moments bond people together and make school a place you want to be, not just have to be.
And that's probably the best lesson of all: learning can be fun, and a little chaos sometimes makes it unforgettable.